In this video, we will cover the process of installation of the software on your computer. Let's talk in detail how you should install the Sensitiv Imago livestream software on your computer for the right work of your Sensitiv Imago complex. Why the operator at all needs to know how to do the installation. First of all, to do the installation in the first place. Also, in a case when you will need to reinstall a program in case of any errors or for any other reasons. And also in case of future updates that you will get from our office. You will need to uninstall the program first in order to install the update. Okay, let's go step by step for the installation. First of all, you need to make sure that all the cables are connected to Sensitiv Imago properly. Let's call it step number 0. Step number 1. Copying of the program file and renaming it. For that, you have to take the source where you have the program. It can be a download link from the internet, or it could be a CD or DVD disc, and in our case, it is a flash card. We insert the USB flash card into our computer. We find the necessary file, copy it, and place it on the main disk of your computer. The main disk is the disk where you have your operation system installed. In our case, this is disk D. Please pay attention that in most cases the operation system is installed on disk C of your computer. Okay, we have the program copied. Now we have to rename the program in a certain way. Livestream_dista. In this precise format, the program has to be renamed after the copying of it. Now let's check that we have done step 1 correctly. First of all, we will check what was the size of the original file of the program found on your source. In our case, the file was on our flash card. The original size was 224 megabytes. Now we will check the size of the copied file. We can see that it is the same. It means that the copying was correct and no data was lost. The second thing is that the file has the right name, livestream_dista. So now step 1 is complete. Now what we have to do is to connect your Sensitiv Imago device to the power source. For that, we switch the power switch on the back panel of your Sensitiv Imago device, and on the front panel you will see that the monitor has lit up. It means that Sensitiv Imago is switched on. Now we are ready to go to step 2. Step number 2 is the installation of the driver that will help your computer communicate with the Sensitiv Imago device. For connection between your computer and Sensitiv Imago device, we will be using the USB cable. So one end of the cable was already connected to a Sensitiv Imago device, which we did in the previous video, and now we have to connect the other connector into your computer by using one of the USB connectors. Please pay attention that for connection of your Sensitiv Imago device to your computer, we will use 2 USB connectors. One for the USB cable and the second one for the USB key. So you have to make a choice which of the USB connectors will be used for the connection of the cable and which one for the connection of the USB security key, so that in the future you always connect those into the same connectors. For that, we will recommend you to mark the connectors with different colors, for example with blue and red, and also use the same color markers on the USB cable and the USB security key, so that you won't confuse those in the future. So now, what you're going to do is connect your USB cable into one of the USB ports. Now we find the file of the livestream program that you copied into your computer. We find the intro file and double-click on it. We have to wait until the program is doing its job. We OK Windows to work with this program. Once again, sometimes you may see those windows, so you should OK the operation that the installation will do. This process may take some seconds or some minutes. As a result, you can see on the desk of your computer the installation window, which looks like this. In the installation window, you will see 3 fields or 3 commands. We will complete those from the bottom to the top. The first one is installation of the driver for your device. The second one is installation of the driver for your USB security key. And the third step is installation of the program itself. So now we will do the second field. So first of all, we click on the first step from the bottom and we will install the driver for your device. Now that the installation is complete, we get back to the same window. Now, in order for us to check up that the driver was installed correctly, we will go to the Start menu, go to Computer, right-click on it, and at the bottom choose Properties. Here we go to Device Manager. And in this window, in the ports, we find this installed Sensitiv Imago Class 500 serial port COM3. It means that the installation was done properly. Please take into account that you should see COM port from 1 to 5, which will indicate that it is the right installation. In case you will see that a higher number of the port was assigned from 6 and higher, you will need to manually configure that setting, and you can do it this way. You highlight this line, right-click, and choose Properties, and in the port settings you go to Advanced, and in the bottom field you choose one of the ports from 1 to 5, for example 2. Then you OK, and you can see that the port was changed. Once again, you need to see COM port from 1 to 5 here. In most cases, it is done automatically. So the next step is you have to go to install driver for the USB security key. The USB security key is a very important part of the Sensitiv Imago complex. Without it inserted, Sensitiv Imago complex will not work. One important note: what happens if you lose the key? In case of the loss of the key, or if the key was stolen, you have to immediately report that to our technical department. You have to create and send in an email in which you have to describe the situation, how the USB key was lost or stolen. After that, the manufacturer will take some time to research the case, and if the manufacturer doesn't find anything that will need further research, it will issue a new USB key and send it over to you. The official time that the manufacturer takes in order to research the cases and issue a new USB key may take from 1 to 2 months. So please be very cautious in how you keep the USB key, and always keep it with yourself or with the responsible person on your team. Please also pay attention that there is the right sequence in which you have to insert or take out the USB key from your computer. You always need to do that with the computer being switched off. So you have to do it in the first place before you start the computer in the beginning of the day, or you have to do it as the last thing after you switch off your computer and wait until it's fully switched off in the end of the day, and only after that you have to take out the USB key. So for the installation of the security key, we will need the second command here. First of all, you need to insert the USB key by using a second USB port. So now we can see that the key was inserted, and we'll click on the installation field for the driver. It brings us to the installation window. We click on Next, and then we accept the agreement. Then click Next. Next. Now we will have to let the installation process complete. This process may take up to a couple of minutes. After the installation of the USB key driver was complete, we will see a window like this. We will click on Finish, and now we will control that the installation was correct. So we will have to control 2 elements. First, we go to the Start menu, then Control Panel. In the Control Panel we go to Installation of the Programs, and we will have to find the Sentinel Runtime field. This is the program This is the program that will control the work of your USB security key. So we can see that this was successful. And for the second controlling element, we have to go to the Start menu, Computer, right-click on it, and choose Properties. In the Properties window, go to Device Manager, and in the Device Manager, you have to expand the Universal Serial Bus Controls, and you will see 3 drivers that correspond to the USB security key. SafeNet HASP key, HASP is the name of your key, SafeNet Sentinel, and USB key. So these 3 drivers are for the right work of your USB security key. So now we have done the checkup that the installation of the USB key drivers was successful. Now we are ready for the installation of the program itself. So now the 4th step is the installation of the program itself. It is done through the 3rd field here that says installing the program. So we click on this and the process of the installation will start. The system has checked up that the key was installed correctly. You can see that very quickly on screen. Also the identification of the Sensitiv Imago device. Now we have the installation window. To continue, we have to click on this blue arrow. After that, we can see a window like this. Then we go to the next step. Here we have to accept the terms of the agreement. Next. In this window, the program says that in the particular directories, there will be created 3 folders: Livestream, Livestream Archive, and Livestream Export. Going to the next step, we have to input certain information about the operator. First of all, we have to draw your attention that as an operator of Sensitiv Imago, you will always have to input any information using all caps or all capital letters. So any information that you will input in the future has to be done using all capital letters. So in the first field, we have to input surname and first name of the operator who owns this equipment. Then optional is the company name. Further, Sensitiv Imago has an inbuilt module that correlates Sensitiv Imago position towards the electromagnetic field of the Earth. All the sensors of Sensitiv Imago will be working with the electromagnetic field of the human. And because the Earth also has its own electromagnetic field, this electromagnetic field is different in different geographical parts of the Earth. So in Prague, it will be different than in New Zealand or the United States or in other parts of the world. So for the Sensitiv Imago to take into account the geographical electromagnetic field, we have to input the location information here. First of all, we need to choose country. In our case, we will choose Czech Republic. Then we have to choose region, Praha, and also the city, Prague. Further, we have to input the administrator password. You have to input something that you will remember well. In our case, we will input 12345 for the ease of the example. Please don't forget your password when you input it. And also please know that you will be able to change that afterwards if you will need to. We have to go next, and the final installation will take place. Here, after the completion of the installation, we shut down all the windows and we can see this small icon that says SI Livestream on your desktop. Let's now do the checkup of the last step of the installation to ensure that the installation was correct. So we'll go to the control panel, to Programs, and here we can see a new program has appeared, Livestream. It means that the installation of the program was really successful. Also, as a last step, we go to your computer, to disk C, and we check up these folders, Livestream, Livestream Archive and Livestream Export, that were created as the result of the installation. So now we can confirm that the installation was complete and successful. Let's summarize all 4 steps of the installation. Now, step 0 is checking that all of the sensors and connectors were connected properly to the Sensitiv Imago device. Step 1. Installation of the driver that will ensure the communication between your computer and Sensitiv Imago device. Step number 2. In this case, it is important that the COM port should not have a number which is higher than 5. This is what you can check after the installation. And the last step is the installation of the program itself. Now, in the end of this video, I will give you a quick algorithm for the uninstallation of the program. This is something that you may need if you will want to install our updates or reinstall the program. So the uninstallation happens in the reversed order to the installation order that we used. First of all, we have to uninstall the livestream program. After that, we have to uninstall the drivers and the program of the USB security key. After that, we uninstall the driver that connects your computer and Sensitiv Imago. And as a finishing step, we will go to disk C and uninstall all the livestream folders that were created during the installation process, including the livestream_dista folder. This is how we do the installation of the Sensitiv Imago livestream program and uninstallation in case you need it.